Thanks for joining me right here on Local News Live. I'm Ryan Henson, and it is officially the 4th of July, and we're going to be celebrating all weekend. Thousands of people will be coming to the nation's capital to catch the rocket's red glare. Joining me right now in studio, U.S. Parks Police Chief Jessica Taylor. Thank you so much for coming in here. We appreciate it early.
Sure.
Let's talk general advice for safety this holiday weekend. What should people know? Talk about the basics.
Sure. So, I mean, all holiday weekend, of course, a lot of people are going to events to see the fireworks. Those are large gatherings of people, right? So I think you just need to be alert. Right? We have a lot of families, a lot of kids going out with their parents. Make sure you have one another's phone numbers so you can relocate if needed. I think, you know, just be aware of your surroundings, right? I think any large gathering, you got to be aware at any time. Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, D.C. has a huge celebration. We were just talking National Mall. You guys have already blocked that off a little bit, days in advance in anticipation of the crowds. Talk a little bit about that event. And are there other unique ones around the country, too, that, you know, obviously, you know all about, too?
Sure. So the United States Park Police, one of our biggest responsibilities is securing the National Mall for the Independence Day celebration today. We take that very seriously. We have upwards of 500,000 folks that come down to the National Mall, right? It's a lot of families, a lot of kids. We have all the roads in and around the National Mall are closed down. You know, the unique thing about D.C., I think, is nothing happens without partnerships here, right? So we're working close with the FBI, D.C.'s MPD, all of our kind of local partners in the area to make sure we have a secure and safe environment for folks today.
And, you know, for parents especially, or people, you know, navigating those large crowds, what are one or two things people can just keep in mind just to make sure they stay safe, especially with kids who are obviously a little bit less responsible?
That's right. I mean, obviously, you know, keep an eye on your kids, but I know it's not always that easy, right? I have two sons. They do what they want to do. So I think the main thing is that your kids know your phone number, right? Either put it in their pocket, make sure they know it, have a picture of them on your cell phone that you can show officers easily. We're going to be saturated. We're saturated all over the National Mall. So when in doubt, walk over to a park police officer that's wearing a shirt like mine or a light blue shirt and ask for help, right? We have a family reunification area, as do most of the large fireworks displays throughout the country. Great.
Last question. What are you expecting for next year's big A250 event? Obviously, I'm sure that'll be a little bit bigger than even years past.
That's right. So this year is the 249th.
Right.
So we are anticipating this kicks off kind of the celebration, the year celebration for the 250th. I think you're going to see, what you see this year, you're going to see it kind of quadrupled, right? I think they're going to have a lot of events planned, a lot on the National Mall, a lot of events planned in concert with the White House, with the National Park Service. So I think it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and we're just excited to celebrate. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chief Taylor. We appreciate it. And if you see her out there, if you see your colleagues out there, just know they're friendly, they're there to help.
That's right.
And it's a long day for them, so give them a little patience as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate it.
Now to a new safety alert. Sanitation workers issuing a warning to anyone planning to launch fireworks this weekend. They say they're seeing a lot of burnt trash cans and truck fires, excuse me. Sanitation workers are reminding everyone to soak fireworks in water before throwing them away. Right now, we're going to head to Ryan Pierce for more.
Joining me now is AAA Travel Vice President Stacy Barber. Stacy, thanks for joining us. Are we expecting to see a lot of people travel this weekend?
Good morning, Ryan. Yes, we are. We are going to hit another record season this holiday season. The majority of the travel is going to be coming via car and then followed quickly by air this year.
Sure. What are the top destinations people are expected to visit? I would guess maybe the beaches, maybe something outside, but are there some places that people expect to go to maybe more than others?
Ryan, you hit it on the head. This year, we're seeing a high peak for the Alaska area. The cruises are really doing well this year, along with Florida and Hawaii, who really are seeing that high demand for their resort and attractions. And New York and Boston, they are always a top spot for their fireworks show. And then topping our international destinations is Vancouver this year, followed by Rome, Paris, and London. So lots of options this year for the holiday season.
Yeah, that's all over the place. New York, Vancouver, Alaska. You said that's pretty typical, right? Nothing out of the ordinary this season?
Nothing out of the ordinary, seeing the regular trends come back, which is great to see. And with Friday, the 4th falling on a long weekend, we are seeing more people utilize that to get out and make their dreams come true.
And finally, Stacy, we have you on, so we have to ask, what tips do you have for people who are planning to travel this weekend?
Absolutely. So if you're going to be traveling by car, check your vehicle before you get on the road. Make sure your wiper fluids, your brake, your taillights. Also, make sure you have an emergency kit. Pay attention to the weather. That's going to be really critical. And don't travel when you're tired. Really make sure that you're well rested. Lastly, avoid cruise control and slow down and move over when you see those emergency vehicles on the side so you and everyone can get to their destination safely this holiday season.
Stacey, you just helped a lot of people. Thank you for joining us on Local News Live.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy 4th, everyone.
You too.
And you can help yourself. Make sure you download the Local News Live app. All you have to do, search L&L in the App Store to watch our live newscasts and our videos anytime. Well, coming up next on Local News Live, data centers expanding across the country, creating concern for customers who may be impacted by a spike in their bills or a strain on the power grid. Our national investigative team discovered much of the development is going on behind closed doors. That story coming up next.
Watch Local News Live anywhere, anytime. Download the Local News Live app on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Well, giant warehouses are popping up across the country, and what's inside could impact not just how much you pay for power, but whether your lights even stay on. Those warehouses are home to data centers that drain huge amounts of energy. Senior national investigative reporter Josie Sturman discovered it can be built under a cloak of secrecy with customers left paying the bills.
When Ari Govani Young bought her house about 45 minutes outside D.C., she was looking for an escape.
We had a beautiful view of a field with trees. A lot of nights you'd see different animals walking through, so it was pretty much our little oasis.
A piece of lush paradise in suburban Virginia that has since been transformed into a concrete jungle.
And when you look at it, what do you think about this place?
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely atrocious.
A cement shadow rising to the sky just 200 feet from her balcony. What she and other neighbors were originally told would be a retail center with restaurants and shops they could walk to was later zoned for and turned into something they can't even stand.
Unfortunately, our community was the guinea pig. We were the test subject to see, can we build a data center this close to a community? And yes, you can.
Data centers are essentially warehouses filled with computer processors, servers, and equipment. They can be used for cloud computing and storage, the machines that make it possible to hold on to your old email and pictures. Lately, they've also become a hub for artificial intelligence. That's the kind of technology that simulates human learning. Things like using ChatGPT to tell you the meaning of life, write you a love song, or track down scientific studies. These data centers are changing our world and our landscape as companies like Amazon, Google, and Meta invest in AI across America.
Data centers are vital to enabling critical and emerging technologies like AI that are essential to U.S. national security, our global competitiveness, and economic prosperity.
The competition is a power struggle, not just to dominate the AI industry globally, but also to provide the energy needed to physically fuel data centers here at home.
I spoke with Microsoft. The Microsoft data centers, not all, but some Microsoft data centers can use as much power as the city of Seattle.
And it's cities and towns nationwide that are dealing with the consequences and concerns attached to these concrete giants. As massive data centers begin a physical takeover of some communities, there's also unease about the pain customers may feel in their pocketbook when it comes to supporting these facilities from Georgia to Nebraska.
The concern here that data centers could put a drain on much needed resources or can impact power and water bills.
They have multiple data centers and they're seeing skyrocketing electric rates.
That to me should be setting off alarm bells.
It's something Tyson Slocum has been warning about.
Big tech wants to see someone else pick up the tab for all this expensive infrastructure, and utilities are happy to accommodate by building the infrastructure and then billing all consumers within the service territory for that infrastructure.
Slocum, an energy expert with the nonprofit consumer advocacy group Public Citizen, testified to Congress in April about the impacts of the rapid expansion of AI data centers nationwide.
When you're asking working families to pay higher electric rates so that more infrastructure can be built to serve billionaire-controlled tech companies, that's a problem.
Although industry leaders say they're committed to paying the full cost of service for the energy they use, experts dispute that. And many people don't even know the behemoths that could impact their power bill are even being built.
I don't understand why that should be a secret, right? If someone wants to come build something, they should be proud and be willing to come at the very first opportunity in front of your community.
But many people are being kept in the dark about the development of data centers in their backyard, with non-disclosure agreements used as the projects get off the ground. Some companies are requiring local governments to keep the details secret until certain water and power deals are locked. And it's happening across the nation. Our national investigative team sent public information requests to dozens of communities in all 50 states, asking for copies of any NDAs signed as part of data center development. We discovered some extend for years, even if nothing is ever approved, and that both parties have to agree not to share information about the project's location or details. One we obtained from Virginia never even mentions the phrase data center, instead referring vaguely only to development. Another in Indiana covered a project that could span as many as 400 acres. And two NDAs we got from Texas warn that leaks could lead to legal action, with one setting a 5-year confidentiality period. That's long enough for a project to be planned, approved, and potentially built without full public scrutiny.
We've heard directly from folks that very often, under the terms of the NDA, the big tech companies reach a tentative agreement with local officials, and then the local officials say, okay, now we go to the public. But by then, it's a done deal. 99% of all of the details have been negotiated in private between big tech's lawyers and the local officials. And by the time you've got a public hearing, the presentation is, here's the deal that's on the table, take it or leave it.
We asked 6 of the nation's biggest data center companies about the use of NDAs and other issues. Only 2 and a national lobbying group responded. The Data Center Coalition, a trade organization, says NDAs protect company-specific information, increases the speed and efficiency of increases the speed and efficiency of projects, pointing out that sometimes they choose not to move forward, so these agreements keep them from pulling communities through the ups and downs of the process. Still, this development can happen under a veil of secrecy, even though the projects may put a substantial strain on individual customers and the nation's power grid as a whole.
The data centers and the load growth associated with that has just put a heightened sense of urgency into a number of things we've been concerned about anyway.
Jim Robb is the president and CEO of the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, or NERC. That's the regulatory group in charge of ensuring the security and reliability of our power grid, something that's being tested as more and more data centers come online.
It's a very daunting challenge for the country.
A test of grid reliability that has already exposed serious problems. An April presentation to federal regulators obtained by our team highlights 2 major incidents in Virginia. One of them, a near miss last summer, involves 60 data centers that simultaneously dropped off the grid. As a result, a huge amount of electricity on the grid suddenly had nowhere to go. Experts say it's like having a large nuclear power plant come online immediately and unexpectedly, creating a massive energy imbalance that could have led to blackouts.
The close calls are very concerning. And if they come off the grid in ways that we don't understand, can't predict, and can't manage, they can introduce oscillations in the grid, instability, which can eventually start to impact people's ability to use power in their homes.
Because what this comes down to is if one of these data centers or multiple data centers go offline suddenly, that's going to have a ripple effect that is going to impact Joe consumer that has absolutely nothing to do with the data center.
It absolutely could, right? And that's one of the reasons we want to make sure that they're well understood, well modeled, and well controlled.
Consumer advocates say that's why there should be more regulation and more tools to respond. Until that happens, the data center industry, utilities, and communities all agree there needs to be more study, more collaboration, and more communication.
A lot of the community didn't even know that this was happening because, again, they send out a mailing or they'll post a little sign, little tiny sign at the front that there's a public hearing coming up, and you're going, okay, cool, whatever, I don't know what this is.
Back in what they call Virginia's Data Center Alley, people like Ari Gavani-Young say developers need to do more to break down the walls of secrecy before they start physically building foundations. What's your message to anyone who hears that there is the potential for a data center to pop up in their community?
Get your community on board, get to the meetings, be a voice, be an advocate for your community. That's all we can do.
And that was Josie Sturman reporting right there. Many of the major data center companies say they're already innovating, looking for ways to reduce grid strain and use renewable energy sources. And we know several states have already proposed or are working on legislation that makes sure costs related to data centers aren't passed on to everyday consumers. You're watching Local News Live. We're coming right back.
Hey, good Saturday morning. I'm meteorologist Rachel Myers. We are watching our next potential tropical system. This would be an area of low pressure off the coast of the Carolinas. For us today in central Virginia, we're not worried about this. If you are headed to Virginia Beach, you could see some higher threats of rip currents, more dangerous swimming conditions. Same thing down the coast of the Carolinas, but they'll also be mixing in a better chance for showers and storms. Today, here at home, we stay dry, beautiful. We have a little bit of fog this morning, but then plenty of sunshine all day long. Lower than average humidity. It will feel very similar to what we had yesterday. Temperature 85 degrees at noon today. Then we get to 89 degrees for a high. This evening, we continue to see dry, mostly clear skies. Temperatures will be really nice, 78 degrees. 9 o'clock tonight, back to 75 at 10. Tomorrow, that area of low pressure I showed you here just a little bit ago will move up the coast, and it will start to bring us showers and thunderstorms tomorrow around midday through the afternoon. These will be hit or miss downpours, rumbles of thunder that can maybe knock over a tree or two with just some stronger storms, gusty winds. Monday, that shower and thunderstorm chance continues from the morning and into the afternoon. By the evening on Monday, we should turn much drier, but we have an active pattern here. Scattered showers, thunderstorms tomorrow, Monday, and then at any point really next week.
On weekends, always streaming, always free.
Welcome back into Local News Live Weekend. More than 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, a disease that takes a heavy toll not just on memory, but also on families, emotionally and financially. Consumer investigator Chris Jackman talks with the Alzheimer's Association about the cost of caregiving and how families can better manage the financial strain.
It's one of the most heartbreaking things a family can experience, watching a loved one struggle with Alzheimer's or dementia.
This year, for the first time, we've exceeded 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's. That's up by 300,000 over the last year alone.
Dr. Elizabeth Edgerly is the Senior Director of Community Programs and Services with the Alzheimer's Association. Their new 152-page report highlights the significant impact Alzheimer's and dementia have on individuals, caregivers, government, and the nation's healthcare system.
When we look at all those numbers, really staggering numbers, we also see staggering costs. And we're now at $384 billion being spent on Alzheimer's care every year, and that grew by about $24 billion in the last year alone.
The report also shows that nearly 12 million Americans are providing unpaid care for family members or friends with dementia.
This is a truly impactful disease that leaves people really struggling.
So many families are just trying to make ends meet, and then you're dealing with a loved one that's going through this. So what tips or recommendations would you provide?
Ask people, friends and family, can you help me? The more that we can do to try to deepen the bench, so to speak, maybe the longer we can care for someone at home.
Dr. Edgerly says one positive trend is that more people are open to early detection, which is critical to managing the disease.
We believe that it looks very promising that people will be ready to act and ready to adopt those new developments as they come.
With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
And the Alzheimer's Association has a list of educational resources on its website. You're watching Local News Live, bringing you the stories important to you and your family. Pups face off for who can jump the farthest, the highest, or the fastest. Local News Live's Lacey Reeves takes us up close to the action in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
That splash was 9-year-old Trex swimming as fast as he can in the Speed Retrieve Dock Dogs competition. His owner, Susan Barnes, has been competing for over 20 years.
I cannot tell you how much it increases the bond you have with your dog and how much I love doing it, because the minute he comes out, it doesn't matter what the score was. He's happy and ready to tug on the toy and do the next turn.
At each competition, Trex jumps into the pool as far as he can and swims as fast as possible to grab the toy at the end. Barnes says he's currently ranked first for the sport in the lapdogs division.
It's about teaching him how to have an on and off switch, how to be excited about the toy, get him excited about getting in the water. So there's all different things you can do, but you got to have a dog that pays attention to you and a dog that loves the water. Those are two important things.
Many people in eastern Iowa took part in the competition, but many came from surrounding states too. Barnes and Trex have been coming from Des Moines to Cedar Rapids to jump for 8 years.
The time I get to spend with my dog, the cool people I meet, the great crowds, visiting neat cities, and how welcoming these cities are and how excited people get, especially the kids, watching the dogs.
And while it's competitive, Barnes says Trex's enjoyment is what matters most.
As long as he comes out of the pool smiling, I'm pretty happy, and I just hope to do my best to give him the best chance to run a fast run for Speed Retrieve.
A friendly competition that's for the dogs.
Love that story right there. Always love to see people competing, so when I can see dogs competing, it's even more better. Well, you're watching Local News Live. We're coming up with more stories that's going to impact you.
Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Gray Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming apps you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use and talk to the right audience right here. And talk to the right audience right here in Richmond and wherever your audience right here in Richmond and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. gdmrichmond.com.
Well, thanks for joining us right here on Local News Live. Violent youth crime often gets worse in the summer months when school's out. This summer, one church community trying to keep teens on the right path by giving them a place to go and meet with others away from guns and violence. Local News Live's Tisha Powell has the story.
I felt called to be an attorney since I was like 13. I loved law. The goal is just see how many kids are there, spread the word, and hey, Josh, be available to pick them up if they want to come to programming.
Head, shoulders, knees,
Every day, Tyler Hunt pleads her case before a different judge.
I feel like these kids just need a moment of like knowing that there is hope and that he is that for them, because they do live in very dangerous environments, some of them. You got a Bible?
She's spending her summer speaking positivity to inner city youth in Baton Rouge.
There's nothing that compares to those who cover you in prayer.
A refuge from the struggles of the outside world, where the words of the Bible come to life.
Who say to the Lord, my refuge and
This recent LSU grad is a Catholic missionary with Vagabond Missions, a program for teens in 9 U.S. cities, including Baton Rouge. Sacred Heart Church pastor, Father Josh Johnson, is Vagabond's chaplain.
I don't want me to go in. We just want to provide a safe place for them to come to be loved, to be seen, to be heard, and to grow.
For Father Josh, Sacred Heart is home.
Our community here in Mid-City needs this really bad. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of negative influences to take advantage of my kids. And so it's beautiful that we have Vagabond missionaries here who have just invested in real friendship with our teens.
Friendships that for some are more like family. Vagabond has been around for 2 years in Baton Rouge, but this is the first summer for the Open Underground Hub, a youth center where teens can unwind with friends.
Let's see someone trying to post on me.
For 18-year-old Joshua Dickey, it's a light in the dark.
Stuff like this could really open some people's eyes, because some of these kids out here, they grow up not having a place to just chill out. Some people end up growing on the streets.
Joshua lost his dad 3 years ago and started coming here when things got hard at home.
So I'm really thankful for this place and what they've done for me and given to me to help me feel like I'm alive again.
From the Underground Hub to Bible study.
Psalm 91, my refuge and my fortress.
And other events. The teens can find fun, food, and faith.
When I read it, it was like God was like right here.
From faces that look like their own.
I know when we have struggles.
At 37, Deacon Michael Parker is more like a dad to local teens.
I got you.
He's working to break the cycle of crime and poverty in this community.
I know that when they see me, they see someone who gets it, who knows what it is to be in this area, to have a different outlook on life. But it's the objective of trying to make sure that the kids know that they're good, they're seen.
But it's work they can't do alone. Volunteers are always welcome.
So we're all necessary, and when we use and bring our gifts and our talents and our resources to the table, we see lives being transformed.
Without the dangers of drugs and violence.
Their home. We did it for them. We want them to know that we're investing in their home. We did it for them. We want them to know that we're investing in them, in this community, and so this is their home.
Psalm 91 talks about who he is.
Where Tyler and others are on a mission, focused on giving new life to kids who've endured some difficult times.
And that's my prayer, that the time I lives.
That was Tisha Powell reporting. Teens don't have to be Catholic to take part in the Vagabond Missions program. Teens don't have to be Catholic to take part in the Vagabond Missions program. They offer transportation and provide tutoring programs when the school year begins. Just the sanctuary many of those young people need. We'll be right back. More news on the way.
Today's top stories that matter to you.
Completely shut down until further notice.
Local News Live, powered by local journalists across the country.
We know there's a lot on your mind. That's why we created the On Your Side Safety Team to focus on the concerns we all have, like neighborhood break-ins, finding ways to save money before a trip to the grocery store, and looking at solutions to help keep kids safe while they're in school. We're dedicated to finding help and resources so you can sleep better at night. The 12 On Your Side Safety Team, giving you peace of mind in a place we love to call home.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Pierce. According to a 2024 College Ave survey, fewer than half of parents with a child in college feel prepared to pay that first tuition bill. Consumer investigator Carice Jackman speaks with an educator about practical steps to make college costs more affordable.
Nikita Williams is the site director for Arizona State University at their Washington, D.C. location.
We have brought a hybrid online program for students earning their undergraduate degree. We mainly focus on students who are first-generation college goers because we provide a tremendous amount of support for our students. So they come in the building 1 day a week. And in addition to doing college, per se, they also get resume writing skills, cover letter writing skills.
Over the years, Williams has watched the cost of higher education skyrocket.
I think back on when I went to school, it was $20,000 for all 4 years. Education now is at about $20,000 per year for, some, depending on which university, on average, 140 to 80% in some cases.
When it comes to preparing for college, Williams recommends building relationships with high school college counselors and applying for as many college scholarships as possible.
Apply. Random scholarships. It doesn't matter if it's $1,000. That's $1,000 less that you have to pay. Some parents, I would say, 529 scholarship savings funds, college savings funds. You can roll that over into different things that the student may need. It doesn't necessarily have to be specifically the tuition.
Williams also suggests carefully considering your options.
If you think back to when you were in high school or when you were in
even a hybrid program like
through COVID and the pandemic, how was online learning for you? Were you able to sit still long enough? Through COVID and the pandemic, how was online learning for you? Were you able to sit still long enough? Were you able to pay attention that long? What is your reading stamina? Like, can you really sit down for 2 or 3 hours and read and study? That's very, very important because everyone's learning styles are different.
And how much is enough to save?
So about a third of the tuition saved up, cash, readily accessible. Think of a third in scholarships, loans, aid, financial aid, whatever the case may be, help, assistance. And then another third, I think you should have a conversation as well, if possible, about let's be open about our finances. You may need to get a job and contribute to your own schooling.
So start early, do your research, and figure out the best path for you as you begin this next chapter. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
And joining us now is consumer investigator Carice Jackman. Carice, great to see you.
Thank you, Steve.
Higher education isn't slowing down anytime soon. How should parents prepare?
Well, they should prepare as early as they can, right? I mean, it's crazy to say the minute the baby is born, but yeah, you want to at least start thinking early. As soon as your child gets here, think about different ways that you can save up for their college tuition, because we know the minute college gets here, that money and that tuition, it can go fast just like that. So as early as you can save, preferably even before high school, try to see if there are different ways that you can save, put money in the bucket for your child before they go off to the higher education.
And obviously some schools cost way more than others. That's something parents should probably think about as well.
Absolutely, and like Nikita Williams said in the story, everyone's learning curve is different. So if somebody who might work better in a smaller college setting, look at a liberal arts college, depending on their major. Also look into community colleges. If you know that your budget is tight, look into community college, give them there for 2 years, and then maybe move on to a higher education. So many people do it. It's a great option. Again, it all comes down to your budget and what you can afford. And again, scholarships, and grants. Please don't think that you're applying to too many. Apply to as many as you can.
That's good advice. And Carice, finally, our students, they're in the offices with their guidance counselors.
Yes.
They're getting advice directly from them. How important is it for parents to maybe know the guidance counselors?
I would say as soon as they get to 9th grade and you get to high school, get to know your guidance counselor. Talk to them about budgeting. Talk to them about, obviously, what grades and what their focus should be when it comes to AP courses. If you know that your child is interested in science, look into AP biology. If you know your child is looking into journalism, look at what AP courses may stand out to that child, right? So getting to know your guidance counselor, talking to them about budgeting, talking to them about the cost, and then talking to them about what major what classes will direct them towards their path. If they know what their career is, like many students, they may not know, but at least put them on that trajectory.
That passion, that can dictate where they go. That's a good way to look at it. Carice, thank you. We appreciate it. Always great advice.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, happy Saturday. I'm meteorologist Delaney Bowles here in Madison, Wisconsin with your look at the local news live forecast. We're seeing lots of warm temperatures really across the country. We're experiencing that traditional summer heat as we are into July now. You see those warm temperatures out to the west, and we've had lots of above average temperatures here in the Midwest. We'll get a bit of a break from that in the coming days, more seasonable temperatures, but yeah, lots of warm weather going on. Here's a look at the highs across the country country yesterday. Many of us in those upper 80s and lower 90s, and humidity here in the Midwest has been a concern as well. So here's a look at the highs for today. We're sticking with those warm temperatures and humidity as well. So heat indices here in the Midwest have been in those mid to upper 90s, approaching 100 degrees, and then we're definitely hot out to the west, 90 degrees today there in Sacramento. So we're really warm right now, and with that we're having lots of active weather as well here in the Midwest. You'll see we've been normal to wet weather lately, a little bit more on the dry side as you head out to the west, which makes sense. And as you can see here, we are going to be taking a look at today's weather threat. We are going to be marginal risk here in the Midwest, but as you head out to Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, we will see a bit more of that there. And then as you head into tomorrow, Sunday, that risk will shift to the south there in Colorado and Kansas. Sunday, that risk will shift to the south there in Colorado and Kansas, Nebraska. So definitely some active weather across the country right now and warm temperatures to accompany that. So that's your local news live forecast. Don't forget to check your local forecast on your Gray TV station in your area.
Definitely going to be hot in some places. Stay hydrated as you have fun this weekend. Now to a new safety alert. Sanitation workers issuing a warning to anyone planning to have too much fun, planning to launch fireworks this weekend. They say they're seeing a lot of burnt trash cans and truck fires. Sanitation workers are reminding everyone to soak fireworks in water before throwing them away. This will cool it off and make sure it doesn't reignite. If fireworks go unused, don't throw them away at all. Put them in a hazardous waste center. And the fireworks last night seemed to be nonstop, where firework distress is commonly centered around pets and veterans. They're also a concern for many who have dementia and Alzheimer's. Local News Live's Ali Hennard has more on what can be done to help ease the anxiety.
Well, you have two big staples of the 4th of July, which would be fireworks and large gatherings.
Both of which can be problematic for someone living with dementia or Alzheimer's, according to Chris Snyder with the Alzheimer's Foundation of America.
It can cause fear, it can cause anxiety, it can cause disorientation. So you want to try to avoid that.
Schneider says there are several things you can do to make your loved one more comfortable.
Having familiar comfort items on hand can really be helpful as well, whether that's a favorite blanket or a favorite article of clothing or trinket. It can just provide that sense of calm and reassurance, which is exactly what we want caregivers to do.
AFA encourages caregivers to forego the fireworks.
You want to adapt that tradition by watching fireworks on TV, and then you can control the sound that way.
Schneider also recommends trying to muffle the sound of any fireworks near the home.
Even if you're inside, you still may hear those explosions and loud bangs. So whether it's using an air conditioner or having a white noise machine or having soothing, familiar music playing, all of that can help muffle some of those sounds and provide that person with a sense of calm and ease.
Explaining to your loved one that there may be loud noises throughout the weekend can help prepare them as well.
Make sure there's somebody in the home with them at all times. Don't leave them on their own.
Someone living with dementia may not be able to do everything they could prior to the onset of the illness, but there are ways to include them and celebrate together.
Finding ways for the person to participate in the holiday, and that's all about just revising how you celebrate.
Now, families with questions or concerns can speak with a licensed social worker through AFA's helpline. All you have to do, call that number on your screen, 866-232-8484. The helpline open 7 days a week. More news coming up right here on Local News Live after a short break.
Hey, good Saturday morning. I'm meteorologist Rachel Myers. We are watching our next potential tropical system. This would be an area of low pressure off the coast of the Carolinas. For us today in central Virginia, we're not worried about this. If you are headed to Virginia Beach, you could see some higher threats of rip currents and more dangerous swimming conditions. Same thing down the coast of the Carolinas, but they'll also be mixing in a better chance for showers and storms. Today, here at home, we stay dry, beautiful. We have a little bit of fog this morning, but then plenty of sunshine all day long. Lower than average humidity. It will feel very similar to what we had yesterday. Temperature 85 degrees at noon today. Then we get to 89 degrees for a high. This evening, we continue to see dry, mostly clear skies. Temperatures will be really nice, 78 degrees. 9 o'clock tonight, back to 75 at 10. Tomorrow, that area of low pressure I showed you here just a little bit ago will move up the coast, and it will start to bring us showers and thunder in the afternoon. These will be hit or miss downpours in the afternoon. These will be hit or miss downpours, rumbles of thunder that can maybe knock a day. That shower and thunderstorm chance continues. That shower and thunderstorm chance continues from the morning and into the afternoon. By the evening on Monday, we should turn much drier, but we have an active pattern here. Scattered showers, thunderstorms tomorrow, Monday, and then at any point really next week.
There's only one place that we call home and only one station that's on your side.
12 on your side. We work to bring you stories that impact your life. From first on the scene breaking news to the most accurate first alert weather forecast.
Plus investigations that hold the powerful accountable and get you results.
And the 12 on your side safety team to keep your family and your money protected.
Wherever you live in Central Virginia, we live here too.
And that's why we will always be 12 on your side.
A special gift for a man who goes the extra mile to provide for his family. He works at a Hardee's restaurant in Alabama, and his commute to work was nearly an hour each way until a customer stepped in. LNL's Julia Avant has the story.
Running a fast food restaurant like the Hardee's on Atlanta Highway is hard work.
The food industry has changed since the pandemic. What have you guys noticed?
It's very hard because sometimes we get a lot of call outs. They don't want to come to work.
Then there's Diabre.
He is smart. He's very intelligent, very respectful, and a very humble young man.
And that reliability becomes even more impressive when you consider his commute.
Didn't really want to say anything because he's very quiet. So we just started paying attention and realized, hey, he walked to work.
On top of being on his feet all day, Diabre walks 4 miles to work. This is the closest place the 25-year-old could find a job in order to provide for his family.
It's just you gotta do something for everybody else other than yourself. So I was just trying to help my mama, because I'm 25, man. I feel like I ain't really did much in life, so I'm trying to start now.
Then came customer Shane Woodard.
I noticed he had the Hardee's emblem on, the Hardee's hat. I was thinking, surely this guy's not walking to Hardee's.
When he saw Diabre on his regular...
Let's face it, your time is valuable, especially in the morning.
That's why 12 News Today puts so much thought into everything that we do.
We update you with first alert weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
To get you where you're going safely and on time.
Start your day with 12 News Today. Weekday mornings on 12 on your side.
The following is a paid presentation. The contents and claims are the sole responsibility of the sponsor and do not reflect the views and opinions of WUPV, CW Richmond, Gray Television, its employees, or subsidiaries.